Healthy anger is not screaming and yelling at people all the time or getting good at that. Healthy integrated anger is self-advocacy. That's what it is. At the base of it, it is saying, I'm going to advocate for myself in this moment, that I have a need. I'm going to advocate for my needs. I'm going to advocate for my safety. I'm going to advocate for what I need in order to feel loved. That's it. Plain and simple. And being on both sides of integrated anger also means being able to hear when somebody says that. So in a moment that we're made to feel uncomfortable, right? Someone said something that made us feel a little bit prickly. We say, hey, that made me feel uncomfortable. That's well integrated anger. Instead of the other options that so many of us have used, right? Like, oh, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to fester about it and I'm going to be so mad about it, or I'm going to just like fly off the handle and scream about it, or I'm going to be passive aggressive and like covertly jab back and try to make this person feel uncomfortable too. No, just advocating in the moment, just self-advocacy in the moment. Like, hey, that made me feel uncomfortable. And a reason that a lot of us don't do this is because the other person, we're worried, hasn't integrated their anger in a healthy way. So we're like, oh, it's better not to say anything because, then they're going to fly off the handle, or they're going to get mad, or they're going to do something covert. And that's why it is so important that we heal anger in community. And that's why I keep doing community classes on it, because we need to come together, because healthy anger is both sides of that dynamic. It is saying, actually, that made me really uncomfortable. And then it's saying, oh my gosh, somebody that I care about, or just another human being that matters, is advocating for feeling uncomfortable. And I'm sorry. And how do I care for that person? And showing up, right? Because I think humans actually really care. We really care. But I think what's happening now is that our anger is so disintegrated. It's like over there, and it's become this like nefarious thing where if somebody says we did something wrong, all of a sudden we're bad, and we go into this spiral of like, oh, but they think I'm a bad person and I need to defend myself. I need to be good. I need to be right. When really, if we understood anger as just anger, it's just a texture that like we're all going to make mistakes, and we all care about each other, and we all want to know how to care about each other. Then instead of taking it as a personal slight, as like an actual attack on our character, we can just be like, oh my gosh, I didn't care for you the way that I needed to in that moment, and I want to learn how. Or else talk about not having the capacity, right? Maybe it's something I can't change. I have to talk about this thing. This is an opinion that I carry. Is there another way I can care for you, right? And then negotiate. But a lot of us are scared of anger when it gets to a 10 out of 10, or a lot of us think of anger only when it's a 10 out of 10, and we don't have to yell at everybody. We don't have to get to that if we're all really good at the integrated healthy anger. And also I would argue that having the integrated healthy anger will help us see the transgressors of our actual boundaries, right? Because then we'll see who cares and who can show up to care, and who doesn't care, and who's going to push and force and make us uncomfortable anyway. This is why integrated anger, socialized anger, communicated anger in relationship, really healing that relational dynamic, is paramount, because I actually think at the core of it all, humans really freaking care. That's why we fly off the handle. That's why we get to a 10 out of 10. That's why we're defending that we're not wrong, or that we're not bad, or whatever, because we really, really care about each other, about the people around us, about the things that we're passionate about. But let's integrate our anger so that we can care in a way that's like effective, that's transformative, that's loving, that's kind, that is productive, and that is caring in so many ways, that doesn't shut us down, but that opens pathways for us to get to know each other better, to get to care for each other better, and to get to keep moving through all of these things together, because I really just think humans care so freaking much.